What are the different careers available in marketing?
So I mean, let's the one area of marketing that I talked about briefly was the B2B piece. So for a second, let's look at the B2B piece. Assume you are a large Indian outsourcing company. So let's look at how and where maybe the marketing piece ends up affecting a company like this. This company would have corporate functions like corporate communications, which is basically reaching out to people with the company's overall marketing objectives. B, they are likely to have PR, public relations. C, they are likely to have, this is debatable, some people look at this as a part of marketing, a lot of people don't, investor relations if it's a publicly listed company. Other than this, companies are likely to have positions like product marketing. These are people who are responsible for specific products. In technology companies, typically you'll find there are also there's also business marketing, meaning if a company has 5 or 6 different businesses, then each of these 5 or 6 businesses is likely to have its own marketing. Other than all of this, there are different aspects of marketing such as analyst relations. Or one way of looking at analyst relations is, today when people make complex buying decisions, they don't necessarily want to make the decision themselves. They'd like to get advice from somebody they think is an expert. So there are a bunch of consulting companies, analyst firms, etc., which just provide this. So tech companies will typically like to map out these companies and have a group of people who understand and build their relationships with companies like this who could provide them business. Other than all of this, most of these companies also have large sales teams, and they are looking for people who can help them with activities like managing events on the ground, managing lead generation, managing collateral. So marketing as an area has a fairly large scope. There's also lots of very distinct parts to it. Like I said, we talked about things like corporate communications, PR, there'll be product marketing, branding, analyst or influencer relations. So I think it's very dependent on what people are looking for as a career, and my advice to people would be that try and get varied experience early in your career. Try out different things. You will not know what you're looking for unless and until you actually have a chance to try out 5 different things. So my advice would be, some of your projects, potentially maybe do a project with an agency, maybe do a project with a tech company, maybe do another project with a bank. So as and when you get this varied exposure to different types of marketing environments, you'll figure out which sort of an environment works well for you, where you thrive, and where you'd potentially like to go with your career.